Yes, guys. Right, so this article looks like it's going to be really interesting. As usual, I haven't actually read it yet, but we're going to go through it together. It's called Self-Defense for Dummies cheat sheet, and you're locked into everything bite-sized. So, Self-Defense for Dummies. Personally, I just find smacking someone in the face is a pretty good self-defense mechanism. But I had a cursory glance and scrolled really quickly through the article, and it looks like it goes really in depth into like psychology behind self-defense, which looks really interesting. So it's quite a long article, so it's probably going to be quite a long video. But I'm gonna stop chatting and I'm gonna crack right on. Let's get this right. Self-defense can be intimidating and overwhelming to someone who's new to the topic, and many self-defense experts make it appear even more complicated by introducing complex techniques from martial arts such as judo, aikido and karate. Aikido is by the way. Like, aikido is absolute bollocks, bro. Like, judo and karate are pretty good. Judo's probably more useful than karate, because judo, you're controlling the weight of the other opponent, and you can get someone on the ground, and then you can smack them in the face. Because if you're on top of someone and they're on the ground, it's probably pretty easy to smack them in the face. So judo is probably the best one out of the three, but aikido is like, it really is. Honestly, it's like, karate is pretty good. Like, karate's good, but it won't beat something like boxing. Like, boxing is like more technical. Like, it's technically more focused on doing as much damage as quickly as you can, whereas karate has a lot of ceremony still in it. Like, there's a lot of like, I don't want to say like the wrong word, but there's a lot of like, you know, like tradition and ceremony and it's not as to the point with boxing. Boxing, you just want to smack the person up and knock them out as quick as possible. Anyway, let's crack on. Not that I'm an expert on martial arts by any means, but I've done a little bit of boxing and a little bit of karate. Yeah, boxing is way more to the point. Anyway, to crack on. To make the topic much easier and more approachable, this cheat sheet serves as a crash course to bring you up to speed with the basics. This is interesting because I want to see how they're going to help someone with self-defense through an article without practical demonstration. So this should be interesting. But it's from Dummies.com, which is the website for the book series blah 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 for dummies. And every other article I've read and video I've made, they've been really good. So yeah, let's crack on. 7 tips for avoiding and preventing physical attacks. There you go. Preventing a fight in the first place is always the best self-defense. If you can like avoid a fight and talk someone down from it, that is much more. That's the ideal outcome, because you don't want to be smacking someone in the face or getting hit in the face yourself. That is not ideal. And if you get off on that, you've probably got a problem. But you know, like I personally, I'm not that fussed because I'm quite a big guy and I can punch quite well and quite hard. But if someone who is trained comes against me, I will lose because I haven't got that training. So obviously, and there's a lot of people who don't have the physicality to actually fight well. You know, they might be short, really short, or really skinny. So if they can avoid a fight, like, yeah, that's the best way. So 7 tips for avoiding and preventing physical attacks. Self-defense isn't a competition, it's a predator-prey paradigm. Predators pursue easy targets, the weak, vulnerable and distracted. That's important, the distracted part. You need to be very aware of what's going on. To avoid and prevent attacks, make yourself a hard target by taking the following precautions. Pay attention to your surroundings, keep your head up and make a conscious effort to be observant, even hypervigilant. Note anything suspicious, such as people who aren't acting in tune with the vibe and flow of others, unattended backpacks or bags, or someone wearing a coat or jacket when everyone else is wearing t-shirts and shorts. Interesting. So I'm guessing they're saying, like, in case someone's concealing a weapon. It sounds like they're talking about a bomb with the backpacks and bags thing. This article is going to go deep, man. Okay, it says count hats. What? When moving through a crowd, casually observe who's wearing hats. This tactic keeps you walking tall and confident and helps you make brief, casual eye contact with everyone around you. Yeah, I find that making eye contact with anyone you're walking past, not like long eye contact, because too much eye contact is aggressive, but just letting someone know that you've seen them, like, you know, like, and you're not too scared to look them in the eye. To me, that is very important. And anyway, carrying on. It shows any would-be attacker that you're not distracted and that you can probably identify them. That alone can discourage an assailant. Alright, interesting. Avoid places of ambush. When you're out walking, avoid places where attackers can conceal themselves to launch a surprise attack. Between parked cars, in doorways, in alleyways, around corners. I mean, it's pretty hard. Yeah, it makes sense, but sometimes you're going to have to walk through these areas. When passing these areas, give yourself a wide berth. For example, when passing an alley, take a path closer to the street, away from the buildings. Okay. Find strength in numbers. Violent criminals target people who are alone and in places where their crime isn't likely to be noticed or recorded on video, which means two things. You're safer in a public area with lots of people around, and you're safer when accompanied by a friend or companion. Yep, that's so true. That is so true. Like if you're in London or Birmingham, for example, or any major town or city in the UK, like if you stroll off the beaten path, like the main road and the main high street, and you stroll off the beaten path, man, you are putting yourself at danger, man, for real. Let me just have a vape and some tea. Okay. Beware of the dodge. The dodge, okay. I don't know what this means. A dodge is any deception an attacker uses to distract you or cause you to let your guard down. They may ask for directions, a smoke, spare change, the time, or your help. Anything to occupy your hands and break your focus. Interesting. They may also appear to be vulnerable, looking for a lost child or pet. Give a curt answer, if any. Keep moving away from them and call 911. I think calling 911 when someone's done any one of those things is a bit extreme, man. Like, I think the call 911 part was a bit unnecessary, unless they've actually tried to launch an attack on you, obviously. But personally, I don't like calling the police, but I will call the police for someone else. Like, you know, if I see like a woman getting beaten up or something where someone's being victimized, I will call the police for them, but myself, I'd rather deal with it myself, to be honest. This next one looks really important. Trust your gut. If something or someone feels wrong, it probably is. Yeah, that's so true, man. Trust your gut instinct. I trust my gut instinct, and it's got me out of so many situations. That's probably like one of the main things that self-defense should involve, I think, is trusting your gut feeling and keeping away from situations where you feel uncomfortable. Anyway, carrying on. If something or someone feels wrong, it probably is. You're more perceptive and intuitive than you think, but you may try to dismiss these feelings as signs of paranoia. That tingling sensation in your natural early warning system at work. If you think someone is following you on foot or in your car, you can try to smoke them out by abruptly changing direction. Yeah, man, that's like some James Bond spy some espionage. Like, I've heard that a good way to see if you're being followed is to circle back on yourself. Like, you take like 3 right turns or 3 left turns, and then if they're still behind you, then they're following you. And you can do this in a car as well, obviously. So the next one says, never trust a stranger. Violent criminals prey on your trust and good nature. They'll tell you anything to get you to comply. Keep in mind that there's no problem the police can't solve. If you need help, call 911. If someone approaches you needing help, call 911 for them as you move on. Okay, interesting. Yeah, don't ever follow a stranger somewhere. Like, that is some risk. That is some risky, weird, dodgy shit, man. If someone goes, oh, there was a car crash around the corner or something like that, I would. To be honest, I'd probably fall for it. I'd probably run around the corner. But you know, they're smart. A lot of these criminals they're smart, man. They know how to manipulate human psychology. You got to give them credit in a way, but It's scummy victimizing people, and especially if they're targeting weaker people. Like, I think that's scummy, man. I really do. I don't really have any problems because I'm quite big, and I'm really confident. But like, I imagine walking through this world as someone of smaller stature and less confidence can be quite scary. But weirdly enough, I'm socially anxious. But you know, so that makes going out makes me anxious, but it's not in a physical way. Okay, ending a fight before it starts. In the martial arts, self-defense training involves waiting for your opponent to attack and then countering their moves, which develops two bad habits. Waiting for the attacker to strike first. That first strike could be the last. Assuming the attacker will strike. In the real world, you don't know for sure. Interesting. Sorry, my phone's going off. I always do that in a video. I forget to turn my alarms off. Anyway, here's an easy step-by-step. Let's go back through that. In the martial arts, self-defense training involves waiting for your opponent to attack and then countering their moves, which develops two bad habits. Waiting for the attacker to strike first. That strike could be the last. That's true, man. Assuming the attacker will strike. In the real world, you don't know for sure. That's true as well. So like, instead of it sounds like they're basically saying that like martial arts and self-defense training, you're just being fatalistic and assuming it's going to end in a fight. And so one, you're waiting for the attacker to strike first, which means you might get knocked out like flat. And also, if you're assuming the attacker will attack you, then that leaves no room in your head for de-escalating the situation peacefully. That's what I'm taking home from that anyway. So, okay. Here's an easy step-by-step approach. My alarm's going off again. Here's an easy step-by-step approach to determine the assailant's intentions safely and beat them to the punch. I like that. Take the position of advantage. Stay far enough away from the assailant so they need to take a step to touch you. Okay, and line up on their point of entry. Parentheses, their weakest point of balance. Imagine a line connecting their feet, crossing by a perpendicular line in the middle. Where this line crosses is your point of entry. That very much confuses me. I'm not good at like spatial awareness and maths and stuff. I'm sure someone who's smarter will get that. Assume the interview stance. Put your strong foot forward, the foot you normally step forward with in a standing position, and point the big toe of that foot at the point of entry. Distribute your weight 80% on your lead foot and 20% on the back of the ball of your back foot, like a sprinter. Oh, okay, interesting. You can have your hands in three basic positions. Hands up above chest level, palms facing out. And yeah, with your palms facing out, it's like a peaceful, passive, as a side note, peaceful, passive stance. And it's less aggressive, so it's more likely to de-escalate the situation if you have your palms facing out. That's why if a dog is a bit funny and wary of you, you put your palms facing out, and it shows the dog you've got nothing in your hands to attack them. Shows the person that you've got nothing in your hands to attack them, and you're not. If your fists are balled, it looks aggressive, and it's more likely to escalate the situation. Anyway, you could also have your arms folded loosely across your chest, lead arm on top, or hands crossed below your waist, lead hand on top. Keep your hands one level higher than the attackers. Oh, okay. Interesting. Never assume a fighting position. Parentheses, don't put up your dukes. Because that could be perceived as a threat and it shows that you're prepared to fight. Yeah, so true. Be prepared to strike in response to the slightest movement towards you. Make it clear in words and body language that you're not interested in fighting as you maintain your position of advantage in the interview stance. Your foot position and weight distribution are important for three reasons. They enable you to step into your attack and deliver your initial strike quickly. They enable you to put your body weight into your opening strike to deliver it with maximum force, and they enable you to strike without warning. If the assailant even flinches towards you, follow the next step. This article's gangster, man. It's basically saying get ready to knock this geezer out. Wait, let me have a vape. I've got to digest that. This article from stretching. This article from dummies.com. It's pretty gangster. Like, it's telling you how to be ready to lamp someone and like knock them clean out. But it's also doing it like, if anything, it's more aggressive than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, one sec. So step 4. I'll go through the first 3 steps quickly. They enable you, so be prepared to strike in response to the slightest movement towards you. Make it clear in words and body language that you're not interested in fighting as you maintain your position of advantage in the interview stance. Your foot position and weight distribution are important for three reasons. They enable you to step into your attack to deliver your initial strike quickly. They enable you to put your body weight into your opening strike to deliver it with maximum force. They enable you to strike without warning. If the assailant even flinches towards you, follow the next step. Drop step towards the attacker's point of entry and strike. You can strike with an edge of hand blow to the face or head. Drive an elbow into him. Flick your fingers out into their eyes like a dart. Or kick their lower legs, knee or below. I mean, if someone flinches, yeah, it doesn't mean they're going to attack you. They're saying if someone flinches, poke them in the eyes or elbow them in the face. One effective opening is to drive forward with your chin tucked and your face behind your elbow for cover while delivering axe hands to the face or the head. Oh man, this is gangster. I was not expecting this. Shift into forward drive. Continue your attack, knees high, stomping with every step and hacking away with axe hands to the face, head and other targets. Stepping with knees high and stomping down enables you to maintain your balance on uneven terrain while providing opportunities to knee the assailant in the groin and elsewhere and stomp their feet, possibly crushing their arch instep. Don't stop until the assailant is incapacitated or you can escape safely. Basically, don't stop until the assailant is crippled and in a coma. That seems to be what they're saying. Okay, this is going to take ages to read. This is tiring me out. Using the 4 pillars of self-defense to your advantage. In martial arts-based self-defense systems, you respond to what the attacker does with a counter-maneuver, such as blocking, holding, or throwing technique. That approach isn't practical or effective for self-defense. It requires a great deal of training, dexterity, and taking my jacket off. It requires a great deal of training, dexterity, and time-consuming complex calculations. You're having to think, okay, the attacker is doing this, so I need to counter with this move. By the time you figure out what to do, you could be lying unconscious on the ground. A much simpler and more effective approach is to break down every attack according to the 4 pillars of self-defense. See, they're making it they're talking about martial arts being complicated, but they're getting really complicated themselves. Man, this is taking there's so much to this article. I don't think I can get through all of this. Do you know what? If you want to find the article, it's called Self-Defense for Dummies cheat sheet. This is too much for me to get through, and I really can't be bothered because I don't feel like I feel like a lot of this comes natural to me, and I can't be bothered to read through it. Like, I'll just give my own advice. Yeah, if someone goes to attack you, just punch him in the face. Yeah, there's a cross that you draw with your imagine a cross on their face. Yeah, going down from the forehead to the nose to the chin, and then a cross going across from the eyes to the bridge of the nose to the eyes, yeah, across, yeah, and aim for, just punch, elbow, like aim for that area, and if you know where the solar plexus is, that's a good area to like either punch or knee. Also their knees, if you kick one of their knees in or kick them in the bollocks, I mean, it's keep it simple, man. This article is so complex. I wasn't expecting all that. They're slating martial arts, which could come in handy, and they're saying it's too complicated, and then they're going into a essay about things to do. Like, you're not going to remember all this in real life. Like, it needs to be like second nature. You need to just punch them in the face, man. It's as simple as that. Like, but they do make some really good points. Like, you need to keep your center of balance, and you need to make sure you're grounded well. Your feet are grounded well. And yeah, and just punch them in the face. Yeah, it's pretty simple, man. Like, to be honest with you, like, elbows are good too. Like, elbows are good because, like, it's a lot stronger than your wrist. Because when you punch someone, it's easy to break a knuckle or break your wrist. But if you elbow someone, it's going to be like hitting them in the face with a sledgehammer. So yeah, two martial arts that are probably the best to learn for self-defense. Three, sorry. One is Muay Thai. No, 4. Okay, there's 4 really good ones. Muay Thai, yeah, which is a lot of knees and a lot of elbows. Then you've got Jiu-Jitsu, which will control their body and you'll just them up. Yeah, there's no way they're getting on top of you with if you know Jiu-Jitsu. And you've got boxing, yeah. And what was the other one? Krav Maga. Yeah, Krav Maga is deadly, mate. It's what the Israeli special forces train in. So you've got Krav Maga, boxing, Muay Thai, and Jiu-Jitsu. Any combination of those above, or even just one of them, is going to give you the advantage you need. I don't like how this article is slating martial arts. I really don't. They're trying to give you some thesis on the technicality. Some of it's good, yeah. Some of it's good, like being aware of your surroundings, making eye contact, but not too much or too little with someone who might be an assailant. Not falling for psychological tricks, being aware, don't get yourself into a vulnerable situation. But the most important thing I keep coming back to is punch them in the face. Anyway, this has been Everything Bite Size. I'm sorry this has been a shit video. This has been the first video that I've stopped halfway through because the article's just shit. But I'm gonna keep it anyway and put it on my channel. I don't know if people will like it or not, but I don't give a f, mate. Like, come punch me in the face if you've got a problem with it. I don't mean that, actually. Please don't punch me in the face. Right, this has been Everything Bite Size. Check out my music videos, check out my shorts, check out my other content, and I will see you in the next one.